Hi, my name is Amy Reed from the Yoga House in Kingston, New York. Today we'll be doing a yoga class designed for strength and flexibility. Begin to take a few deep breaths that help you feel elongated through your spine. Really breathing in through the length of your back body. As you deepen your breath, feel your heart opening, your shoulders softening, finding your seat. Sweep the fingertips out wide, arms towards the sky. Grab the right wrist with the left hand and give yourself a gentle movement over to the left side. Draw the right hip down, really reaching long through both sides of the body. Come through center, make a big Y. Switching sides, grabbing the opposite wrist. The left hip moving down. Come to another Y, lift your heart. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Take a breath in that elevates the chest. And on exhalation, make your way to all fours. When you arrive in all fours, stack your shoulders above the wrists and invite your hips to position over the knees. Keep the toes tucked. Begin to round the low back, sending the pubic bone forward, stretching wide through the mid-back, the upper back, and eventually tucking your chin. Continuing to press long through your arms, lift your tailbone, let the tummy move towards the mat, draw your shoulders towards your hips, collarbones open, gaze shifts forward. Once again, moving the pubic bone forward, pressing through long arms, rounding the low, mid, upper back, tucking chin, getting length in the back of the neck. And then lifting the tail, sending the tummy down, shoulders back, chest open, gaze lifts. Come to a long spine. Send the right leg behind you, tuck your toes, press the heel back, draw the tummy in to lengthen your back. Feel a stretch in the calf. And then lift the leg, send the knee back into position in all fours. Switching sides and the left leg back, press the heel back, draw your tummy in, feel a stretch in the back of the leg. Lengthening the leg, lifting it up, coming back to all fours. Untuck your toes, let the knees go wide, send the hips back for child's pose. This is a great pose to come back to at any point in your practice. If you need to catch your breath or refocus. Gently shifting back to all fours, tucking toes, knees back into position underneath the hips. Send the hips back in space now. Draw the tummy into the body. Press the arms away from you. Tuck your chin, rounding low back. And then extend the legs, sending the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Inverted V shape in the body. The heels get heavy with gravity. Press through your arms. Imagine your biceps rotating to the front of the room, spreading wide through the upper back. Activating your inner ankles to the back of the room, your outer ankles down. And then lift the heels to the sky. Send weight forward, pubic bone shifts forward, long low back, long spine, knees come down to the mat. Press in through your arms, draw your tummy in, bend at the elbows to let the chest reach the floor. Release the toes to the mat, draw your feet together, send the pubic bone down in space, draw the shoulders up, send the elbows back, lengthen the back of the neck. Find a breath in, and then a gentle release. Tuck your toes, send the hips back in space, and then straighten the legs back to downward facing dog. Stay here for a few breaths. Softening the knees, step the feet to the front of the mat. Coming up halfway, let the fingertips reach just below the knees. Shoulders move back in space towards the hips. Top of the thighs gently back in space without locking out the knees. Keep the neck long. Find a breath in. And then over soft knees, find a gentle fold. Make fists, draw them to the crease of opposite elbow and rock side to side. Come to stillness. Soften the knees. Draw the hands to the waist. Press into the feet. Stand upright. Take a breath in. On exhale, draw the arms alongside the body, palms facing the body. Settle the shoulders down. Gently engage the abdominal muscles and send the top of the glutes down without throwing the pelvis forward. On a breath in, sweep the fingertips out and wide. Look up. With a long spine, fold down. Come up halfway, lengthening. Soften your knees, hands down, step the feet back to downward facing dog. Lift your heels up, send the weight forward, send the knees down. Breath in through long arms, bending elbows, tummy and chest to the floor. Release the toes, draw the legs together, inhale, lifting chest, keeping the neck long. Squeezing the shoulders towards one another on the back. Gentle release. Tuck your toes, press the hips back. Returning to downward facing dog, hips up and back. Remembering to press long through your arms and draw your tummy in to lengthen your low back. Soften the knees, gently stepping feet forward. Coming up, lengthening your spine. Once again, shoulders towards your hips, a little valley in your upper back as the shoulder blades squeeze together. Softening the knees, perhaps to find a fold. Pressing into the feet, standing all the way up, palms touching overhead. Exhaling, hands to prayer. And now exhaling, hands to the waist. Step the feet out wide on the mat. Pivot to the long end of the mat. Pivot your toes in to face the long end of your mat. Take a big breath in that lengthens the spine and draws the shoulders down your back. Draw your arms out to a T. Pivot the left heel in and the left toes out, bending the left knee, finding warrior two. Keep the right ribs shifting back. And balance weight between the feet, both inner edge and outer edge, and left foot and right foot. If your shoulders are gathering tension, flip the palms to face up, let the shoulders move down your back before flipping palms back over. Find a breath. Bending at the left elbow, let the forearm touch down, palm faces up. Gentle pressure into the thigh to lift the bottom ribs. Send the right fingertips right across the horizon, and then lift the arm up so the bicep hovers above the ear. Finding a lot of length through the right side body, from fingertips all the way to outer edge of the foot. Draw the right shoulder blade onto your back. Coming back to warrior two, arms outstretched. Now reach the left fingertips forward, flip the palm to face up, send the fingertips to the sky and beyond as the right fingertips settle down the leg. Finding length through the left side body, inviting the left side ribs onto your back. Coming back to warrior two, draw the hands to the waist, press into the left foot to straighten the leg, pivot the toes into the long end of the mat. Now pivoting the right heel in, the right toes out, bending the knee, arms come back out to a T, finding warrior two on the other side. Balancing out weight in the feet, feeling the left ribs drawing back. Drawing the low tummy in so your low back lengthens. And again, if the shoulders are drawing up or gathering tension, flip the palms to face up, soften your shoulders before restretching your arms. Find a breath. Bending now at the right elbow, let the forearm touch down. Apply a little bit of pressure to lift the torso. Left fingertips across the horizon, and then lift the arm up, bicep over the ear. Long line of energy. Left shoulder blade onto your back. Really pressing into the feet. Keep your breath flowing with depth. In and out. Returning to warrior two. Send the right fingers forward, flip the palm to face up. Send the fingertips to the sky, maybe beyond. Left hand settles down the leg. Now it's the right shoulder that we draw into the back without arching the back by maintaining a little bit of tension at the low abdominal muscles. Coming back to warrior two, hands to the waist, pressing the right foot to straighten the leg, pivot the toes into the long end of the mat. Find a breath in, and then on exhale, hinging from the creases of the hip, keep the low back long as you lengthen down. Great place for blocks here under the hands as the hands touch down. Inhale to lengthen the body. On exhalation, begin your fold. You're welcome to walk the hands back in space. Keep the inner thighs reaching towards one another. Keep the sits bones behind you working towards one another. The feet balancing weight evenly. Maybe even tip weight slightly forward into the mounds of the toes. Draw your shoulders towards your hips. Walk the hands forward, shoulders arriving above the wrists. And then gently bend the knees, draw the hands to the waist, lift the torso up. Right. Pivot the left toes to the front of the room, lift off the back heel, hands touch down, step the front foot back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. On exhale, let the knees go wide, draw the feet together, finding child's pose. Keeping your breath flowing. Returning now to all fours. Once again, stacking the hips above the knees, the shoulders above the wrists. Let the tailbone lift, tummy goes wide, chest opens, gaze shifts forward. And then draw the pubic bone forward, rounding the back, drawing chin to chest. Lengthening spine, hips back. Once again, downward facing dog. Softening the knees, gently stepping feet forward. Coming up, lengthening spine halfway, finding a fold. Fists either to crease of the elbows, or hands staying fixed down on blocks or floor, or wrapping arms around the legs. Releasing tension in your jaw and shoulder. Softening the knees, hands to the waist, press into the feet, stand upright yet again. Take a breath, exhale, palms face your body. Step out wide yet again, face the long end of the mat. Hands to the waist. Take a breath in. On exhale, soften the shoulders. Pivoting the left toes out, the left heel in, bending knee, returning to warrior two. Reaching forward with the left fingertips, flip the palm to face up. Send the fingertips to the sky and beyond. Press into the left foot to straighten the leg, really reaching long through your left side body. Sending the arms back to a T as the torso reaches upright, then reach towards the left. The hand touch down on the shin or a block or the floor. Send the right fingertips sky high, the triangle pose. See if you can remember to balance weight between the feet. Remembering to keep the spine long by sending the top ribs into the body, lengthening the bottom ribs. Pressing into the feet, lifting the torso upright. Hands to the waist, pivot the toes in. Now pivoting the right toes out, the right heel in, returning to warrior two on the other side. Reaching forward with the fingertips, flip the palm to face up, send the fingertips to the sky, perhaps even beyond. Press into the right foot to straighten the leg. Find length your right side body. Torso upright, arms to a T. Reach forward over the leg. Hand touches down on shin or a block behind the leg or floor. Left fingertips towards the sky. Again, that long line through the torso. Crown of head reaching away from the hips. Press into the feet to lift the torso upright. Hands to the waist as you pivot the toes to the long end of the mat. From here, either bumping fists behind the body or clasping hands together without locking out the elbows. Draw the elbows towards one another. Lift the heart. Take a breath in. Hinging from the creases, not rounding, low back, folding down. Try to keep the heels of the hand together. Keep the shoulders moving down your back. Keep your neck long, front side and back side. Pressing into the feet, lifting the torso halfway up. Let the hands touch down. Walk the hands down towards the right foot. Bend the knee, lift off the heel. Step back to downward facing dog. Lift the heels up to the sky. Send weight forward for plank position. Release the knees. Tummy to the floor. Release the top of the toes, arms alongside your body, palms down, thumbs out. Draw the legs together, press the pubic bone down. On inhale, lift the shoulders, the chest, maybe the feet, maybe the palms. Reach the heart up, draw the shoulders together. Keep length in your toes. Find a breath in. Exhale, release. Hands near the ribs, tuck your toes, press the hips back, child pose. In this expression, draw your arms alongside the body, reaching for the feet behind you. Lift the torso upright and find a seat on your mat. Stretch the legs out. Draw the low and mid back in. Keep the heart elevated, finding length through your seat. All this energy reaching up to the sky. Feet are flexed. Take a breath in. On exhale, find a fold that allows you to continue to draw the low mid back in, as if your heart is reaching over your toes as opposed to rounding down in space. Keep the heart open. Keep spreading wide across the chest and collarbones. Lift your torso upright. Use your hands behind the knees to bend them, draw the feet towards the body. Take a breath in that helps you find height in your seat and let the knees go wide as the feet come together. Hands around the ankles or knitting fingers together around the base of the toes. Find a breath in again. Elevate the chest, an option to fold, bending elbows, reaching the heart forward in space. Begin to lift the torso upright. Use your hands on the outside of the legs to draw the legs together. From here, give yourself a hug. Round the shoulders, soften your jaw. Make your way all the way onto your back. Soften your shoulders down. Draw the thighs in to the sides of your ribs. Keep your feet flexed, finding length through mid-back and low back. Shoulders soft. Step your feet to the mat. Let the knees stay bent, pointing towards the sky. Grab the long end of your mat with your hands. Lift through the shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another underneath the body. And imagine you're pulling your mat apart energetically from side to side. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, imagine you're lengthening your low back by gently lifting the pubic bone towards the sternum. Press into the feet. Option to lift your hips. Continuing to draw the shoulder blades underneath you. Continuing to imagine you're pulling the mat apart from its center seam, activating the shoulders. Continuing to energize the hips up as you press the feet down and perhaps a little bit forward. Take a breath in. And let the hips come back down to the floor. Release the shoulders from underneath you. Let them spread wide on the mat below. Release the tension in the hands. Draw the thighs in towards the chest, perhaps lifting your nose towards your knees, a little squeeze of the body. Release the shoulders down, flex your feet, send the knees above the hips, the legs at a 90-degree angle, the arms out to a T, palms either down or face up. Let the knees drift over towards the right. You may like a block between the thighs or propping up underneath the bottom thigh. Gently lift your shoulders, send them towards the side of the mat where your knees have fallen. Maybe shifting your gaze to the opposite palm. Coming back onto the back, hugging the knees in, perhaps lifting your nose towards your knees, finding a squeeze of the abdominal muscles and a rounding of the back. Now release the shoulders down. Arms out to a T, yet again, flex the feet. Send the knees to stack over the hips. Let the knees fall to the other side gently. Lifting shoulders, sending them towards the side of the room as the knees. And if you did so on the other side, perhaps shifting your gaze to the opposite palm. Returning onto your back, giving the body a squeeze. Releasing the shoulders down, releasing the feet. Extend the legs long, let the feet separate. Let the palms face up. Allow the eyes to come to a close. Stay here in your reclined position. Let your breath soften. See if you can invite more space or quiet into the mind. That seems challenging, and it often is. Remind yourself that rest is resiliency. Taking rest is just as vital to our well-being as moving through physical practice, tending to our cardiovascular health. Ever so gently opening the eyes, returning to movement. And draw the legs into the body. Let the body move, fetal position to one side, perhaps making a pillow for the head with the arm. Staying for a moment, finding thoughts of gratitude, appreciating yourself for this moment of self-care, and recognizing that when you care for yourself, you often have more space to care for others. Allow yourself to return to a seat. Let the palms rest down on the lap, letting the shoulders soften. Thank you so much for practicing. Be well, yogis. Have a lovely day.